right, some hockey news and more. Jordan's in for Mile on Sports. Jordan.
Hud, thank you. It's an 8-4 start for the Victoria Royals. The leadership clearly hasn't been a problem for them. Still, though, every team needs a leadership group. So today, the Royals finally announced who would be bestowed with hockey's greatest honor. Tyler Stahl was chosen as the second captain in Royals history. Stahl didn't need a C on his jersey to lead this defense corps through the early part of the season, though his play was indication enough that the 20-year-old would be a strong candidate for captain. Opposing teams, as you see here, must take stock of him every time he's on the ice. He's one of the WHL's most punishing hitters and makes life miserable for opposing forwards. Brandon McGee, Tim Traber, Logan Nelson, and Jamie Crooks are your alternates, and Stahl isn't the guy who has to rely on rah-rah speeches to get the point across.
This is a choice that was made as a group and a collection, and you know, the one thing that I like his willingness to compete and come and play hard every night. We knew who we thought would be logical choices, and you know, the players were very close.
I think as a kid, if you knew that was going to happen to you when you're older, you'd be excited beyond belief, and it's a pretty big deal. So I just got to do good for my team this year, and hopefully the other guys.
The Royals are one of two teams in the WHL with records better than 500 with a negative goal differential. The other team is the Brandon Wheat Kings, who just happen to be tomorrow's opposition. Stahl is day-to-day right now with a minor injury, but it'll take something major to keep him out of the lineup.
I love playing at home, especially. Love playing in front of our fans, and I hate missing hockey games, so I'm going to do everything I can to get in the lineup for tomorrow.
Face-off between the Wheat Kings and the Royals is set for 7:05 tomorrow night. Our national men's rugby team came up short in Saturday's final at the America's Rugby Championship. Argentina lived up to their billing in a 28-9 final in front of a record crowd in Langford. More than 3,200 fans made it the largest crowd to ever take in an event at West Hills Stadium, which is, of course, the home of the West Shore Rebels, who were given a rough welcome at the home of the Langley Rams this weekend. The Rebels' season is now over after 33-0 spanking in the BCFC semi-final. Meanwhile, in Nanaimo, the Raiders rolled over the Okanagan Sun 35-8 and will host the league final next Saturday at Caledonia. The Raiders played inspired football after a surprise visit from their most famous CFL export.
Still fits, eh?
Still fits.
Still fits. That's right. Andrew Harris was on the first flight to Nanaimo the night after becoming the 9th Canadian to ever rush for 1,000 yards in the CFL in Friday night's win over the Eskimos. What's even more impressive this year is the fact that no Canadian has ever racked up as many yards from scrimmage as Harris. Now, surrounded by his Raider family, Harris already has perspective.
Pretty cool accomplishment, and to be a 1,000-yard rusher in the CFL, being Canadian, and there's a lot of pride that goes along with that. But you know, we still got some work to do, and the biggest thing for me is just getting out of the Grey Cup. This is my family. You know, I love being out here. You know, it's just the place that kind of groomed me as a man. They're looking good, you know. They host the Nationals, so that's a big advantage. So, you know, I know they're pumped about that, but they got to get out of BC first.
Sporting some spiffy new unis, McKinnon Gym was abuzz with preseason excitement this weekend as the Vikes hosted some of the nation's top ballers at the Guy Vitry Memorial Tournament. UVic fared well with a 2-1 record, including a 75-70 victory Sunday over the Alberta Golden Bears, the defending Canada West champs, led by fourth-year shooting guard Michael Achimpong, who racked up 20 points. It's a year of transition, literally, for UVic, having lost some key veterans from last year, but making the playoffs is the goal.
We're working towards a greater goal, right? So get into the Nationals, get into the Final Four, and we have a good, solid group of guys, and we just need to keep pushing as the games go. We take one game at a time and just bring it every time.
We lost an All-Canadian and Ryan McKinnon, and Zach Anderson and Mike Berg were key ingredients to our play. They were all starters last year. So we lost 3 starting players in our lineup, and that's a lot of points and a lot of things we have to make up. And I thought for the most part, we're making strides. We're not there by any means, but you're trying to make up for guys that played a significant amount of minutes.
And you can make it a silver finish for the Vikes women's soccer team Saturday on the pitch at Centennial Stadium. They dropped their last regular season contest at Trinity Western, a defensive stalemate that produced a 0-0 score at half. The Spartans eked out a 1-0 victory after booting in the penalty kick late in the second half. With the victory, Trinity takes the Canada West crown with an 11-1 record, while the Vikes finish a very close second with a 9-2-1 record. Centennial Stadium plays host to the CIS Championships from November 8th to 11th. His was one of the most dominant careers in sports history, but as of today, Lance Armstrong's accomplishments in cycling have disappeared from the history books. The International Cycling Union came down hard on Armstrong, stripping him of his record 7 Tour de France victories and banning him for life. Now, this all comes on the heels of a report released from the U.S. anti-doping agency that detailed years of doping by Armstrong on his title-winning teams.
UCI will ban Lance Armstrong from cycling, and UCI will strip him of his 7 Tour de France titles. Lance Armstrong has no place in cycling. And if I have to apologise now on behalf of the UCI, what I will say is that I am sorry that we couldn't catch every damn one of them red-handed and throw them out of the sport.
Wow. If there ever was a guy you hoped was clean, it was Lance. But I guess it's fair to say that he does maintain his innocence. So we'll have to see what happens.
But it's not like the titles go to the next guy because the sport's riddled with it, right?
That's right. So actually, in the record books from 99 to 05, it is blank. Nothing there. Crazy.
Wow. Mm-hmm. All right, Jordy. Thank you.
All right.